Do you know what Julius Caesar's wife saw in her dream? That came true? And do you know the month July was named after Julius Caesar himself? In this video, we will uncover shocking facts about Julius Caesar. Facts that sound fake, but are completely real. Julius Caesar was not born a king. He wasn't even born rich by Roman standards. But what he was dangerously ambitious. From a young age, Caesar had one problem. He refused to live an ordinary life. While other Roman politicians played it safe, Caesar took risks like a gambler with nothing to lose. He joined the army. He fought brutal wars. And slowly, he became a hero in the eyes of Roman soldiers. In fact, his soldiers loved him so much that they would follow him anywhere, even against Rome itself. And yes, that love scared powerful people.
Rome was supposed to be a republic, no kings, no dictators. But Caesar didn't just win battles, he rewrote the rules. He conquered modern-day France and returned to Rome as a living legend. That's when Rome's elite started sweating. Why? Because Caesar had something no one else had: the army, the people's love, and unlimited confidence. Some senators whispered, "He wants to be king." Others shouted, "He already is one," and honestly, they weren't wrong. Here's a shocking fact most people miss. Julius Caesar was the first living Roman to put his face on coins. Before him, only gods and dead heroes got that honor. So when Romans saw Caesar's face on money, they didn't think leader. They thought, "This man thinks he's divine," and that made senators furious. But Caesar, he didn't care. He accepted the title dictator for life, not dictator for a year, not dictator for emergencies, for life. Yeah, that didn't go well. Now we meet a very important person, Calpurnia, Julius Caesar's wife. She wasn't a politician, she wasn't a general. But she saw something no one else did. One night, Calpurnia had a terrifying dream. She saw Caesar's statue bleeding from multiple wounds. She saw Romans crying. She saw chaos. She woke up shaking. The next morning, she begged Caesar, "Please don't go to the Senate today." Caesar laughed. He literally said, "Cowards die many times before their death." Classic Caesar. Zero fear, maximum ego, and this decision would change history forever. Before we end part 1, here's another shocking truth. The month July wasn't always called July, it was called Quintilis. After Caesar's death, Rome renamed the month to July to honor him. Think about that. Kings come and go, empires fall. But every time you say July, you're saying Julius Caesar's name. Immortality achieved, Caesar ignored the dream, ignored the warnings, ignored the fear around him. And on March 15th, the Ides of March, he walked straight into the Senate, not knowing that his closest friends were holding knives. Let's talk about Marcus Junius Brutus. To Rome, Brutus was a respected senator, but to Julius Caesar, he was family. Caesar trusted Brutus more than almost anyone. He defended him publicly, protected him politically. Some historians even believe Caesar treated Brutus like a son, which makes what happens next absolutely brutal. Behind Caesar's back, a group of senators was meeting in secret. They called themselves the Liberators. Sounds heroic, right? But here's the truth. They weren't trying to save Rome. They were trying to save their own power, and Brutus was pulled into the plot. Brutus wasn't a natural killer. He was a philosopher type. He convinced himself that murdering Caesar was an act of patriotism. He told himself, "I don't hate Caesar. I love Rome more." Classic excuse. The conspirators knew something important. If Brutus joined them, the murder would look noble. If he didn't, it would look like jealousy and fear. So yes, Caesar's most trusted friend became the conspiracy's biggest weapon. March 15th, the Ides of March, Caesar finally left his house. On the way, a man handed him a note saying, "Beware the Ides of March." Caesar didn't even read it. Why? Because when you're Julius Caesar, you think destiny has a VIP pass. Inside the Senate, everything felt normal to normal. Then suddenly, A senator stepped forward and grabbed Caesar's robe. That was the signal. The first knife struck, then another, then another. Chaos exploded. Caesar tried to fight back. He shouted, he struggled. Then he saw Brutus. At that moment, something broke inside him. According to legend, Caesar said, "At you, Brute." You too, Brutus. Historians argue whether he really said it or not, but the emotion 100% real. Caesar stopped resisting. He covered his face with his robe and collapsed at the foot of Pompey's statue, poetic and tragic. He was stabbed 23 times. Ironically, only one wound was actually fatal. The conspirators expected applause. They got silence. Rome didn't celebrate. Rome froze when the people saw Caesar's body. They didn't see a tyrant. They saw a hero. Riots exploded, Rome burned, and the biggest twist: Caesar's death didn't save the Republic. It destroyed it faster. Brutus believed he had freed Rome, but instead, he had unleashed chaos. And from Caesar's ashes, something even more powerful was about to rise. After killing Julius Caesar, Brutus and the conspirators thought they were heroes. They walked into the streets expecting applause. What did they get? Awkward silence. Rome wasn't cheering. Rome was confused. And when confusion turns into anger, things burn. Literally, Caesar's funeral changed everything. Mark Antony delivered a speech so emotional that people stopped thinking logically. They cried, they screamed, they rioted. By the end of the day, Rome was on fire. Brutus didn't free the Republic, he broke it. Here's the most shocking twist: Julius Caesar lost his life, but he won history. The Senate killed him to stop one-man rule. Instead, Rome got something worse for them: an empire. Civil war erupted, blood spilled everywhere. And from the chaos rose a young man you should remember: Octavian, Caesar's adopted son, later known as Augustus Caesar, Rome's first emperor. Irony level, brutal. Let's talk consequences. Brutus didn't live happily ever after. A few years after Caesar's murder, Brutus lost a major battle. Surrounded by enemies, knowing escape was impossible, he did what Romans feared most: he took his own life. Almost every conspirator met a similar fate. Some were executed, some were hunted, some committed suicide. History was clear: no one escaped Caesar's shadow. Let's recap some shocking truths. Caesar was stabbed 23 times, but only one wound killed him. The famous line "At you, Brute." Maybe a legend, but the betrayal was real. His wife's nightmare came true. Caesar died exactly as she saw in her dream. The month July is named after him, so yes, Caesar still rules your calendar. And the people who killed him all pay the price. History doesn't forgive betrayal. Julius Caesar wasn't perfect. He was ambitious, ego-driven, power-hungry, but he was also loved. And that's what made him dangerous. His enemies thought killing the man would kill the idea. They were wrong. Caesar became immortal, not in flesh. Julius Caesar didn't die on the Ides of March. He simply stopped breathing. His power never left Rome.